Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we dive deep into the murky waters of corporate filings and find the hidden treasures before anyone else does. Get ready, because today's report from PHP Ventures Acquisition Corporation might just be about extending a deadline. You know, like moving that assignment to next week. So what is the big news here? Well, PHP Ventures Acquisition Corporation basically just told everyone they're buying themselves more time to find a company to merge with. It is a pretty common move for these types of companies, but it always makes you wonder what is really going on behind the scenes. Alright, let's get into this. We're looking at a Form 8K filing, which usually means something important just happened. In this case, it is all about extending the date the company has to complete what is called a busyness combination. Think of it like a deadline for a scavenger hunt, and they just asked for an extension. This company, PHP Ventures Acquisition Corp, is a special kind of company. It is what we call a Special Purpose Acquisition Company, or SPAC. These companies go public with the sole purpose of finding another, usually private, company to buy or merge with. They're essentially a blank check. The filing is dated the 23rd of January 2026, but the key event happened on the 20th of January 2026. This is when the company held a special meeting for its shareholders. So what did the shareholders vote on? They gave the thumbs up to an amendment. This amendment allows PHP Ventures to push back their deadline for finding a business combination. Originally, they had to do this pretty soon, but now they have until the 31st of December 2026, and they can do this through a series of monthly extensions, up to 16 of them. This is a pretty significant chunk of extra time, but here is the catch, and it is a pretty important one. This extension isn't free. The company's sponsor, Global Link Investment LLC, or its associates, have to put more money into the company's trust account to get these extensions. Specifically, they'll deposit 10 cents for every class of share that is still out there. This is capped at $1,000 per M-onth. This shows the sponsor is willing to put more skin in the game, but it also highlights that they might be struggling to find that perfect merger target. It is not just the trust agreement that got amended. The company's actual charter, its foundational document, also got an update. This is called the Extension Amendment. This is pretty much the same deal, just laid out in the company's official charter. It confirms that the deadline is now the 31st of December 2026, with those staggered monthly extensions, and the sponsorship money requirement remains in place. It emphasizes that the board of directors gets to make the call on each extension, as long as the sponsor follows the rules. Now, let's look at how the shareholders actually voted. They were presented with 3 proposals. 2 of them were approved, the third wasn't even needed. The first one was the big one, approving the extension amendment. And guess what? The shareholders overwhelmingly gave it their approval. Look at these numbers. Out of almost 1.7 million votes, over 1.68 million were in favor. Only 19 voted against it. This means the shareholders are clearly on board with giving the company more time. This shows a lot of confidence, or perhaps a lack of viable alternatives. The second proposal was to amend the trust agreement itself, to go along with that charter amendment. And again, it passed with flying colours, getting the exact same vote count as the first proposal. This shows clear alignment between the shareholders and management on this extension. The third proposal was about adjourning the meeting if they didn't get enough votes. Since they got more than enough votes for the first 2, this one became unnecessary. It is like bringing an umbrella to a sunny day. This filing also lists out the exhibits, which are the actual legal documents. Exhibit 3.1 is the 4th amendment to the Certificate of Incorporation. This is the official document allowing for the extension. And Exhibit 10.1 is amendment number 4 to the Investment Management Trust Agreement. This is the document that lays out the rules for that extension, including the sponsor's financial contribution. Finally, the report is signed by Marcus Chu Yao NGO, the Chief Executive Officer and Director. He is the one officially putting his name on this announcement. Now, looking at this filing, what does it all mean? PHP Ventures Acquisition Corp is a SPAC that has been struggling to find a target company to merge with within its original timeframe. The overwhelming shareholder support for the extension indicates that the shareholders trust the current management to find a suitable deal, or perhaps they see value in the current situation and are willing to wait. The requirement for the sponsor to contribute additional funds for each extension is a critical point. It shows the sponsor's commitment, but also signals that they might be facing difficulties finding attractive acquisition targets. It is a way for them to keep the SPAC alive without bearing the full cost themselves. It also creates a bit of a financial hurdle for each month the extension is used, potentially encouraging them to finalize a deal sooner, rather than later. The high vote count in favor of the proposals is a strong vote of confidence from the shareholders. But it is also important to remember that a SPAC's success hinges entirely on the quality of the merger it eventually completes. If PHP Ventures can find and successfully merge with a strong, growing company, this extension will have been a smart move. If they fail to find a good deal or the merger doesn't pan out, this extension could just be delaying the inevitable. For investors watching SPACs, this filing is a clear signal that PHP Ventures is still in acquisition mode, but they need more time. The key now is to watch what kind of company they eventually target. A company with solid fundamentals, clear growth prospects, and a strong management team would be a positive sign. Conversely, a deal that seems overpriced or lacks strategic fit would raise red flags. In conclusion, PHP Ventures Acquisition Corporation has successfully bought itself more time to find a merger. The shareholders are behind them and the sponsor is willing to invest more to keep the process going. The real test will be the quality of the business combination they eventually strike. Keep an eye on their future announcements for any hints about potential targets. Alright, that is our breakdown of PHP Ventures Acquisition Corporation's latest filing. What is your take on this extension? Do you think they'll find a good deal? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives into the corporate world. Don't forget to check out our Discord community in the description for more discussions and insights. Thanks for watching. See you next time.